I get an opportunity to introduce one of our students from Viterbo University. Evan is now working here in Milwaukee for the Milwaukee Bucks, but he did his undergraduate work in sports management at Viterbo University. During that time, he played on our basketball team, and I'm the chaplain of that team. And what's really wonderful about athletes at Division III, they play for the love of the game. There's no scholarships. There's no accolades. They do it for the love of the game. They do it because of a commitment to each other. They do it in a way in which to represent our university in very positive, competitive forums. Last year, Evan came to Milwaukee and had an interview with the Milwaukee Brewers. They offered him a job. He had a month left of his college education and therefore could not take the job. Kind of wondering what would happen next. The Milwaukee Bucks called. He'll tell you the rest of the story.
Thanks, Tom. So Tom introduced me to servant leadership when I was a freshman at Viterbo. Played basketball there, team chaplain, like he said, and we were able to do a good amount of community service projects in the lacrosse community. And I'll admit, at first it was something that I thought I was just forced to do. But as I, continued on with the process, it was something I actually really enjoyed. It was something that I think made our team, successful, having Tom there every step of the way. I never had a moment where I could not listen to Tom speak. I could listen to him all day, talk about, his passions, and I think that really portrayed in our team and how we served one another on the basketball floor and off, even in the classrooms. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the values that I saw with the Milwaukee Bucks that fit my personality and kind of why I wanted to, pursue a career with them, and then the interview process on how I tried to be, a little different and show my personality in a different way that I think was, a major factor in me ending up getting the job. So the mission that we have with the Bucks right now, with our new ownership, new president, Peter Fagan, is to become the most respected and successful sports and entertainment organization in the world. And I think the young people that we have in our organization are the driving force behind that. And that's where I come in the servant leadership play, is wanting to serve all my customers, all my clients, all our fans, the right way, and not having the benefit for myself, having it for them. So a couple of three keys that we have with the Bucks that I think were huge in myself, because I didn't want to just work for an organization that I didn't believe in the mission and the process that they were going after. So one of our keys is owning your opportunity. Every single day, every time I'm on the phones or talking to a customer, client, talking to a fan, making the most of that opportunity. One of my major keys is always listening, not doing what is best for myself, but really listening to my client and seeing what they want. Because there's a lot, as a salesman, a lot of people have the slimy salesman mentality, and that's something we're trying to really break away from, especially myself. And listening is just the major key, and not doing something that I need them to do, so that making sure that something that they really want. Always bringing your A game every day. I know there's mornings I get up and I probably don't really want to go to work, but always making sure that I'm giving it my 100% all every time. And that comes from myself playing athletics, always leaving it all on the floor. So I always try to keep that same mentality in the office as well. And then one of the main things is sharing your strengths. We have one of the youngest staff in professional sports, and I've been able to share my servant leadership story within the office, which people are listening, and I'm hoping that's something we can keep to portray as we move forward. So then this is what I used in my interview process. So we were asked to do a 10-minute presentation in our interview process when I went for the face-to-face in front of a couple of the VPs and my two bosses now. And I did not want to do a PowerPoint, and I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do at the time to kind of be different and stand out a little bit. and show that I put a lot of thought into this. So this is the golden circle. Not sure if anybody's ever heard of it before. I learned about it in one of my marketing courses. So I kind of comprise my own way with one of my marketing teachers at Viterbo. So I'm just going to give you a little basic on what it means. So there's the 3 circles: what, how, why. The what circle is the basic level that pretty much everyone on planet Earth has. So that's the very basics of and then I'll go into the specifics of myself in a little bit. The how is your differentiation process, and then the why is the most important. That's your cause and your belief. That's of why you're doing things. So the easy way is for people to go from the outside in. So that's kind of the example I gave in my interview was that for the what, for people that were interviewing for this job, every single person has a college degree. They probably love sports, probably have a good GPA, probably did an internship, and some of them might have played athletics. So we're all on the same scale right away, right off the bat when we're going in for a face-to-face interview. The how is, you might be a hard worker, team player, went to class, did your homework, so that's great. And then you might ask, do you want to hire me? And you might get a shoulder shrug, like you didn't really wow me at all. So the real reason is to go from the inside out. Why me? Why am I the person that should be getting this job? Why should I be contributing to this organization? I had to more talk about what I believe. The what is just the proof. And one of the most profound statements, I think, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So, because pretty much anybody can be trained, but you have to have the belief to do, why you're doing something. So then I went into my specifics. What's on the board here is my what is a couple of my internships that I did with the Cooley Region Chill hockey team in lacrosse, and then I worked for Forest Hills Golf Course, and then my education at Viterbo, which is the major shaping force in my career, and that's, I think, what sets me apart is having the servant leadership background is not something that most people have. So I was very fortunate to have Tom with me every step of the way, and I've decided to keep living that momentum on and keep using servant leadership in my day-to-day life. For my how is my servant leadership and wanting to serve each and every person that I touch on a given day, whether it be my coworkers, fans, always looking for an opportunity to serve them. It's not for my benefit at all. It's for them so they have a great time. I want people to keep coming back. So I just think of examples now. If I see, I'm walking around on game nights. If I see, a concession stand that's dirty, I'll clean it up. Or if someone drops a straw on the floor, I'll go grab them a new one. Someone spills a beer, I'll go grab them a new one without even thinking about it. And it's not for my benefit. I didn't need to do anything for me. It's just to make sure that I'm serving them as best as I can to hopefully have them in turn come back and keep supporting us. So my why is to always be creating new solutions to our problems that we have. I feel like I add value and provide insights with my relationship building skills. So I want to inspire the people around me. Always being, since we do have a young staff, trying to be a guiding force within that, and wanting to hopefully help people that are along the way to hopefully learn something about servant leadership, because it really hasn't been something that people really knew about. So in my interview process, educating my some of my bosses that haven't really ever heard about it before really stuck out to them. I mean, I interviewed on the same day. I mean, they interviewed 30 to 40 people, and even after I got the job, they remembered this golden circle idea, because I gave a handout and talked about it because they remembered me being attached to something like this. This is something that was memorable, and so was servant leadership, because it's not just a PowerPoint. It's something that they could actually be tangible in their hands. So that was major force in me ultimately getting the job. So people that start with why have the ability to inspire others first, and that's really what it's all about, is to inspire and to serve and to make sure that you're always using some of those keys that I use on a day-to-day basis. Like I said before, I think listening is probably my key part. I know Tom even said in the beginning, when people like to argue right away, that's something I used to do a lot. I didn't really care what people had to say. I would just butt in with my opinion right away. And now I've learned a lot to hold back and make sure that I listen and feel the whole story first until I make any sort of comment. So I mean, I'm happy that they asked me to speak today, because to share my story a little bit about this, because it meant a lot to get the job with the Bucks, to move down here to Milwaukee, and I continue to practice this stuff on a day-to-day basis within our organization, and hopefully, as I move up the chain, it's something that can be more prevalent, in professional sports, and I mean, making sure that our clients are always, and our fans are always, cared for, because that's one of the main things, and they're the driving force behind us. It's what not just what goes on the floor, but what goes on off the floor and in the arenas and in the office as well. So, thanks, Dick and Tom, for having me today.
Thank you.